think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host John Clore. You know, this is the Motor City and this is the show where we put cars into the context of your everyday life. And what life is all about today is the Detroit Autorama 2015. And today we're going to talk about the little toys for big boys at the Autorama. One of the great things about being a car guy is having all of our cool little car toys. But some people, like you gals out there, don't understand why we have this love affair with these little car toys. So today we've got Lauren Parrott from WMTV to ask us all the wonderful questions that will, if it's really a tough question, we're going to give it to Chris Sawyer of thevirtualdriver.com. Lauren, thanks for doing this for us.
Oh, no problem. I'm really excited.
And Chris, you are going to get the tough questions because I can't answer. When a woman asks me a question about why I have stuff, I can't explain it.
Well, I don't have to worry about that because Cindy's into cars.
Oh, thanks God. Okay, so today what we want to do is take you through all the cool toys, all the stuff that us car guys can have a tendency to collect. Lauren will probably get some of the answers from us. Hopefully it'll help you if you're looking for that perfect item for the man cave, that you'll be able to find that perfect item and find the reasons why you pick one thing over the other. Chris, I know there's a lot of explaining to do. I hope Lauren's questions aren't too tough for us.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the obvious one. Lauren, we talk about it all the time. Model cars.
Yeah.
Now, I know when you look at these, you love them, don't you?
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
So,
The hell is wrong with you, woman?
I'm sorry. I'm being honest. Here's the thing, John. I'm being so honest. I don't have the passion for cars like you and Chris do. I just don't.
So, if you had a guy that really loved cars, would you consider buying him something like a die-cast metal car?
Well, if I knew he liked it, of course.
Okay, so let's explain it in one real easy way. We can't afford some of these wonderful cars, like Chris, that Shelby Mustang.
Oh, that'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars if it was full size.
So Lauren, here's what we're trying to tell you. The reason why, first of all, die-cast is metal.
Yep.
It's nice and heavy. And the reason why we like to have a little one is because we can't afford the real one.
Oh, okay. Well, now that makes sense.
All right. Now, Chris, am I wrong about that?
No, not at all. Or we like the way it looks, or,
Sometimes people buy a die-cast car of the car they own.
That's, I'm guilty of that. I've got like a 10 Lotus models of
Oh my
Milan,
goodness.
so
Wish we could get a die-cast of the People Mover.
yes, and move it somewhere else.
No. So Lauren, first of all, what you have to know about this hobby is die-cast cars, I think, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, that's probably the number one item for a car guy is a metal die-cast car. The larger, the better. And
Why?
Not always. Not always. You
Well,
can get some really nicely detailed 1/43 or larger.
All right. So
1/18 is though very, very popular.
Okay, the larger, if this is 1/24 scale, it's like a good, it fits in your hand, okay? 1/18 is like really the biggest one that you get. They're very large. And the 1/43 are just like 2 or 3 inches long.
Although I did see one the other day that I really wanted, but I don't have that kind of money. It was a 1/5 scale.
Wow.
Thing is, yeah.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is trying to explain why you would want the largest car possible. Sometimes the detail is, but the
Yes.
bigger the car, the more detail, the more you can put like aerials on it and mirrors.
Spark plug
and
wires, everything. Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
works. The steering wheel works. The smaller cars,
I can understand why she thinks we sound like nerds sometimes.
Lauren,
Well, no, here's the thing. I mean, I have hobbies. I have things that I really like.
Okay.
Just not cars, not
Little would we know that she was an ex-murderer, but
no, that's not a hobby.
one of her hobbies.
So what you're saying is it's okay for even mature men to have little toys?
Yeah.
I mean, old farts like us, yeah.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well, but
No, I'm thinking that maybe women don't really understand why, and they are toys. But a lot of men don't even let kids play with them. They don't take them out of the packages. That's
Yeah.
nerd.
That's
Well,
sick.
Have
Okay.
you ever seen 40-Year-Old Virgin, the movie?
Yep.
And that he really expresses how much he loves. I think what was
They were his toys.
they were his toys.
Yeah, but see, if you have to keep it in the original package.
because it's
There's
more
no
value.
fun to it.
valuable.
Guys who have models and they're still in the original. It's not a model. It could be an empty box. They have ball bearings in it for all you know.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not a model until you put it together.
Okay, I think if you want to know the collectible end of it, and Lauren, you got a really good point. I think the answer is because so many of us had taken the car out of the box and played with it, the old cars are really hard to find in pristine condition in the original box.
Yes.
So that's why their value is higher.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if everybody kept their model car in a box,
It'd
everything
be worth nothing.
They really would be worth nothing. That's where
Yeah.
the value goes. So we've kind of explained the die-cast cars. They're made out of metal. Most of them, Chris, I hate to break this to everybody, it's made in China. They're all made in China, aren't they?
Really?
Yeah,
Taiwan?
yeah, pretty much.
But
Or Japan.
we used to be the center of the model car universe when we had plastic kits. It was in Mount Clemens, or AMT was a company.
AMT,
and,
yeah.
they're all on
Yeah,
the east
because
side of
that
Detroit.
that was a Saline plant in Troy.
That's right.
Was
It was
the
an
AMT's
AMT
house.
model.
When they turned that plant over to build do the Viper paint and the other things that they were doing for Ford.
That's right.
They were up in the attic, and they said they were pulling stuff around, and thousands, if not tens of thousands, of the little rubber tires came flying out of the attic area.
How cool is that? Well, we are the epicenter of that. And, you know, a lot of the guys that worked at the car companies, eventually designers, they worked at the model car companies.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's another kind of model car we have to take Lauren over to look at, and this one's tough, Lauren. These are called the plastic kits. These are cars that don't come all pretty in a box for you to roll around in. You got to put them together. So we're going to take a little walk over there and take a look at some of the massive array of unbuilt plastic kits offered at the Autorama. Let's go, Lauren.
Okay.
Okay, at the Autorama 2015, there are all kinds of model cars that we like to look at. The diecast, I think, Lauren, were fun, right? We try to explain all the different sizes and scales, and we'll even talk about Matchbox cars and what they call Hot Wheels a little bit later. But for right now, Lauren, we wanted to show you the model car hobby that's gone in the plastic kits. This entire wall behind you.
And the aisleway over there.
And
And a couple other places.
Yes. All right. So, Lauren, just like somebody likes to buy something that's already done, say a doll. You can buy a doll, and it's all like Barbie.
Right.
She's ready to rock with Ken the minute you take her out of the package.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some dolls come in a package where you have to sew the clothes, paint the head, put the hair on. You know.
Put the head on backwards, put that little green soup on, go,
Paint their
do the little
faces.
exorcist deal.
Paint their faces on, do their hair kind of like my grandmother. Well, my grandmother's passed away. But anyway, so now we wanted to show Lauren and try to explain to Lauren, do you think this is a better gift for someone who would, if you bought him his car, he would get it in a package and say, oh, thank you, Lauren. Now I have to build it.
Well, I think it depends on the person, because some people, I think anyway, some people enjoy that.
Yeah.
You know, some people really like putting things together.
Yeah.
And some people would rather just have it
Have it
come
done for them. Yeah.
done for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, Chris, did you have a plastic kit collection? Did you make any?
Oh, yeah. I made
See?
lots of them when I was
Were
growing
you
up.
any good at it?
If I took the time, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I can do a really. The funny thing is, I can build a really good model, but I'm having trouble restoring my car. If you know what I mean. You get the full size, and it's a little much.
So the only advantage we could really tell anybody about the plastic kits is if they're really old, out of production plastic kits, which most of them are.
Right.
The plastic kit industry kind of left Detroit back in the early 70s, and now they're just doing repops of old kits. Now, if you find an old kit, Lauren, some of them can
and
be
the
very
kits aren't as
expensive.
good as they used to be. They took the cost out of it.
Right.
And they're pretty cheap.
But the older kits can be pretty expensive. Maybe not as much as you can get a plastic kit for $10,
Right.
or $15. But you got to buy the paint and the glue. And nowadays, you got to have a note from your mother to buy glue.
Exactly, because otherwise you'll be sitting there going, I'm going to get that part in there one of these days.
No, that took all the fun out of building model
Exactly.
cars. And then the spray paint, you can't buy metallics anymore. Thanks a lot. All those huffers out there.
That's right.
They ruined it for the rest of us.
That's right.
No.
Your mom
Not
would be
good.
sitting there
It's
going,
not
John,
good.
John, it's 11 o'clock.
People
go to
that
bed."
abuse like glues and paints, but that's really one of the reasons why it is fun to build a model.
Oh, it is.
Even if you're not good at it. But I think it's a good way to get in. I think it's a great way to learn how cars go together to see the engines. It's a fun thing, but don't buy it for someone who's got absolutely no skill at putting things together.
Yeah, can't paint, can't glue, can't, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, John? It makes me think. I love scrapbooking.
Oh,
I love scrapbooking, and I buy a scrapbook.
I want to see her scrapbook on Cars and Context.
uh-oh.
Yeah, we won't go there today.
So it's a hobby.
It's a hobby, and I love it. And I have blank pages,
Okay.
and it's time consuming. It's expensive, but I love it.
See, that's what we did.
Yeah.
But nowadays, our time, when you get older, I think the die-cast car is probably going to be your favorite way to
Right,
go.
right.
It's done. You put it on your
And
shelf.
there's so many other things that you can do that you can get for somebody who's into cars to dress up their garage, dress up their man cave. I hate that term. Dress up their area.
Yeah. Why,
And
Lauren? Why do women call it man cave? You know, we're not cavemen. We're not I mean, even my office is not really a cave. It's kind of.
yeah, I know. And then if you watch HGTV, the thing that drives me nuts is all these guys on Property Brothers. The first thing they say is, "What's the kitchen like? I got to have this, that, and the other thing." I go, "Get into the garage."
Yeah, that's where you belong. So, Lauren, we wanted to bring up one more thing. For those of you who like plastic kits because their realism is really high, because
Authentic.
they're authentic.
Yeah.
There is such a thing that they call a promo model.
Oh yeah,
Now
got
they're
a few
made
of
out of
those.
plastic, and they're the same size as these 124 scale.
And they're all done.
But
all ready to
Chris, do manufacturers still do that anymore?
Yes, they do, but not like they used to. I mean, it's sort of a dying art. They don't think that it's important, and they're doing all these deals with the model makers anywhere.
Yeah.
For the die cast, that they don't want to step on their own toes, as it were. You used to be able to get the promo models from the dealer.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if they were smart today, they'd be still doing something like that. They could do it in die cast. They could do it anyway, and they would hand it to you when you got your car in the color that it's in.
That would be. And, in case
I
you
mean,
don't know what we're talking about,
You got me at that
what
point.
Chris is saying is back when we were kids, if you went to the dealer and you're looking
When
at
dinosaurs
a car,
ruled
and you
the
went with your
earth,
dad
yeah.
and your mom, you would test drive the car, and they would give you a plastic, already built, promotional model of your car, and you'd take it home and play with it. And you would, I mean, if you bought that car, you'd have a plastic model. And it was an idea of the kids in the family got connected with the car buying experience.
And got connected to the company that was making the car, and they became customers right there.
Right. And how cool is that?
That is cool, and things are so different now. You know, that doesn't happen.
That kind of marketing, you don't really market down. They're so specific in marketing that they don't really market down to the whole
Taking the
family.
fun out of it.
They really have. But that promo model, since a lot of these are 50s and 60s era cars, maybe mostly 60s and 70s, some of the promos, Chris, it's $200, $300.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Because plastic doesn't live as long as, say, metal, and they get bent up or broken, and
And so there are
there's
fewer and fewer
very
of them.
few of
Yep.
them around. So
Yep.
if you're going to collect promos, you're in for a big surprise. But you know, it's not just all about model cars. I think we should go to the smallest of all the models before we move on to the other man cave things like signs. But
Signs.
let's tell them about this whole phenomenon we call Hot Wheels or
Oh
Matchbox.
God, I grew up with those. I love them.
All right, let's go check them out.
Let's
Come
go.
on, Lauren, this way.
Okay.
Well, Lauren, I bet you when it comes to all the die-cast cars you've seen in the whole world, you've probably seen a lot of these little Hot Wheels cars.
I have.
Why do you think you see more of these than anything else?
Well, I mean, I think little kids like them, but I see them on the ground a lot in people's houses.
Yeah.
Little kids probably throw them out the car window?
Yeah.
I mean, why is that?
Kids like to throw things out the window. It's like,
But look at it this way, folks. If you look on the sign behind us, these are Hot Wheels. There are two basic kinds of 1/64th scale die-cast cars. One is Hot Wheels and one is Matchbox. The Hot Wheels, look at this, $1 a piece. $1. Lauren, if your nephews came here today, you could buy every one of them for $5. You buy all 5 of them a car, and they could leave the Autorama with a toy car. How fun is that?
They would be thrilled.
Now,
Little kids are happy.
Now, you did ask me a question earlier before we were off camera about what happens to these. What are some of the places, what are some of the things you know happens to a little car when it, like you said, you find them on the street. Well, where else do you think they'll show up?
Well, I told you, I always see them on the floor at people's houses. So my question to you is, where do you find them?
Well, that's a great, well, yes.
under the sofa,
Since I had 2 boys.
in the minivan.
They're in the minivan on the back seat. Yeah.
just about anywhere that
In their-
people are.
in an
in the back of closets.
In an old coat pocket,
Yep.
right?
Yep. If you're in an older home and you've got the grate for the fireplace,
Right.
they're often in there.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
But there's two ways to collect them. One, the Hot Wheels come in a blister pack like this and are hung up. Matchbox was built by the Lensley Company in England.
Yes.
And they would put their little 164s in a small cardboard box, like a box of matches.
Mhm.
They were called Matchbox cars. They've since gone to blister packs as well.
And they are huge in the UK. I mean,
Really?
lots of money in Matchbox cars. If they're original, they're mint, and you've got
the
the original box. Oh my God! You can. Some of them are so rare. There's thousands of dollars.
There goes
Oh my
that,
God.
There goes that 40-year-old virgin again.
Exactly.
No, you're getting to the point now
But
where
this
these
is a great way. If you don't have the space, your wife's not going to give you the space to collect your cars.
Right.
This is a way to do it,
Look
not
how
take
many
up much room.
Yeah, look how many cars you get in the same place.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
there's two ways to do this. You can keep them in the blister pack like this, or do what I do. I take them out, roll them around for a while, and I buy one of those little cases.
Absolutely.
Yeah, then you just put them in a case, and then you say, why did you take that out? Where's the package? I threw it away. But I like playing with them.
That's right. They're not any
Lauren, does
fun.
that mean we have problems?
No, it doesn't.
Does it mean we need to talk to Dr. Phil?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Now, Chris had stumbled on another little cool thing about the Autorama, especially here in the little Toys for Big Boys display, about some things that people buy. Now, everybody likes to collect license plates. If you came to my house and looked at my garage, every license plate I've ever had on every car since I was 16.
And a few of them that he's made.
At Jackson State.
It was at 8 years.
No, I haven't made any plates. They're all hanging in my garage because I like to. I can look at each plate and remember the car
Oh, exactly.
that they were on. Now that's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? Dr. Phil?
No.
No,
No,
it's
not at all. That's
not
cool.
Dr. Phil, but this is something I'm telling you as a woman that I could.
You don't understand?
No, I just don't. I could care less.
Well, Chris spotted what? Now this is a guy that. What does he do, Chris?
He's in Lansing, and he restores old license plates. He will bend them back into shape, get them all flat and perfect again, repaint them in the correct color, and it's just like when it was mailed to you the first time.
So if you went to a barn in Port Huron and had a
And you found
3240,
some
a rusty.
big crap, or in Michigan, the cool thing is if you have a classic car, you can buy the plate from the year the car was born.
Correct.
And you can register that car and run it on that plate.
Even though it's a 1976?
Exactly, you can do that. And it drives people in other states nuts. The state police will pull you over in Texas and go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But you can do that in this state, and it's really cool. So if you found, let's say, a 69 Camaro and you wanted to put it on a 69 plate, this guy would have it for you.
Let's go over and take a look at this.
Absolutely.
Come on, guys, just follow us. Well, we wouldn't have believed it until we saw it, and Chris, you were right. I mean, now Lauren is really
You
gonna,
doubt me.
Now Lauren's going to think we're really crazy. Lauren, this is restorable license plate section. I mean, this is where Dwayne Wells of Lansing, Michigan, will take your license plate and restore it to its original spec
For $40.
And it starts way back in 1910. Lauren, look at this. From 1910, Michigan. I mean, these are real plates that have been fully restored. And it says $40 plus shipping. Now, that shows. Do you think that would be a cool gift for someone, or is it just craziness?
No, okay, so I do think that it's cool.
Yeah.
I do think it's very cool. It is very cool.
What are you, Vanna
especially-
White?
But think of it. If you had a 49 Ford, wouldn't you want a 49 plate for it?
I would, but I'm asking Lauren.
No, I do think that's cool. I really do, yeah.
Yeah, see, and for $40, Chris, the last time you went to Ace Hardware to buy spray paint was over $40. It's like
Exactly.
$9 a can. Over there.
Exactly.
And that was just when you were tagging buildings.
And the cool thing about it is in this state, you can put the car on the license plate of the year it was born.
That, to me, separates Michigan from most places where you
Absolutely. You have a
So if
49 Ford, you put it on a 49 plate.
and you have it registered legally.
Absolutely.
Even though originally
it drives
that
the
wasn't
state
your
police
plate.
nuts in other
Right.
states, but it's cool here
So wait a minute, why can you not do that in other states?
because they want you to pay for the new plate, and that way they can keep it in their database and all that. We're smart enough to be able to adjust our database and put this in it.
Plus, police will see a different plate that they don't recognize and think
Right.
you're out of state. And some of these plates are all different. You don't even know they're from Michigan or if they're legally registered,
Right.
which is their problem.
Right.
So a lot of states ban it, but Michigan,
We're
will allow
cool.
it. We are cool. So if you want that, come to the Autorama, talk to Dwayne Wells. He's out of Lansing, Michigan, and he'll be able to bring your plate in. He'll be able to restore it for you and drive off with a piece of history stuck on your bumper.
Sounds good to me.
Sure better than that dog. Let's go over here and check out those metal signs.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, you know, we talk about collectibles, Lauren, and another thing that you might find in the man cave, I hate the word, I know you hate the word too, but if you're really looking for that gift for one of us, the metal signs are so cool.
Okay, why?
Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm
Lauren, did you
sorry.
see
In my garage, on the back of the door, is metal signs. Bunches of them.
Okay.
In fact, I was on the Mustang launch in California, and we were at Mel's Diner. I bought the Mel Diner sign. I had to really repack all the stuff I was bringing home because I'll tell you what, getting it through TSA was not easy.
Yeah, it probably showed up in the scanner.
You bet. When the guy asked me what it was, and I told him, he says, "Going in the garage?" I said, "You bet."
See?
So men
Yes.
get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they speak the
absolutely.
slang. But I mean, it comes from
this
every...
technical sign. I mean, what is the one thing, American pickers? What is the big thing that
All
they
right,
go
well,
for?
let's tell our,
Signs.
yeah, but let's tell our audience the truth. There's a difference between these repops
Yes.
and the pickers are looking for 100,
The-
80, 90,
exactly.
50-year-old signs
Okay.
that were on buildings. This is $30. It's
Oh,
not
50.
really, I wouldn't say it looks kind of authentic or worn, but I mean, this has some, I think they aged them,
Yes.
but they're basically all new.
I get age because I have 5 older brothers, but
But that aged you too.
exactly.
Well, if you'd stay out of the bars, you'd look younger. I didn't say that. He doesn't drink. He takes
Much.
it takes it intravenously. No. I think the attraction here, and if to really answer your question, is yes, that's the people mover. But I think what it is we.
You'd think they'd fix the wheel on that darn thing after all these years.
Doesn't it have 3-in-1 oil?
Yeah.
You ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
What
Exactly.
about WD-40?
WD, yes, which is also something we have in our man cave. But no, that's another reason why you gals don't really understand us. But we do love to have our signs of our favorite brands because it kind of it's our badge of honor. They walk in, they look over our signs, and they'll know immediately what our favorite stuff
Right.
is. Right.
Exactly.
So you don't have to explain. And as far as technical goes,
It's
I don't think
shorthand, and it's much easier than dogs sniffing each other's butts.
that's true. But that's a great point. But Chris, let's point out something to Lauren. Lauren, it's like when you buy clothing that's brand name, someone could look at it and say that's a Gucci bag,
Right.
or that's a
Coach. That's whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
exactly.
see our signs and they go, oh, he's a Texaco guy, or he's a Ford, or a Harley Davidson. We like the brand name thing, and that's like women.
Exactly.
They do it with shoes and
Sure.
yeah. I mean,
And non-car people look at it and go, "Oh, he's one of those people."
yeah, and see, and we don't care if it's really. I don't care if it's an original sign.
No.
Or if it's a repo, like you probably care if it's a real Gucci bag or one you got at the dollar store.
Right. Right.
Looks like
Because the guys at the dollar store don't know how to spell Gucci.
yeah, it's in Scroochie on it. Yeah, it's a little different. But there's a lot more to the fun stuff you find for the collector at the Autorama. And I think the big ticket item is when you find your car's brochure. There is an entire section of the toy area just set aside for guys looking for the original automotive literature. Lauren, we have to show you this.
Okay.
All right, let's go take a look.
Let's go.
Okay.
Well, no, we haven't seen everything, Lauren, and I don't think, Chris, is it possible to show Lauren everything here in this little toy section?
No.
You can't do it?
No.
Even if we had
No.
all day.
If we know, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
there's downstairs, and there's.
lucky that Lauren and Jeremy are here today taping a show with us, because we would leave this place.
No, we
And then we would leave looking
We'd
at
just
the
move
cars.
in.
Yeah, we're going to be here all day. But that's why we're doing this show for you guys on WMTV, so that we can show you what it's like to be in the Autorama 2015. Plus, Lauren, why that's more than just cars. We showed you some of the toys, all the collectibles. There's one thing I think that we all kind of love. It's the literature. Now, I know you probably were a literature major, weren't you?
I was not a
Oh,
literature
okay.
major.
Well, when I first heard about English lit, I thought it was what some guys did in a pub. But it wasn't. It was English lit. But this is literature from years back. I mean, from the original brochures from your car. Now, I don't know exactly if they have everything, but this guy, PJ, he's been around.
PJ's got a lot, because I'll tell you what, I came here a few years back when I got my Cortina, and I just said, oh, what the hell, and started looking in there. You had the owner's manual, you had advertisements, all sorts of stuff. I got brochures of the car, the original advertising brochures that you would have gotten from the dealer.
Right.
Got it here.
Available.
Now, Lauren, is there anything that women collect that they would want the paperwork for? I mean, other than the only thing I
That's
know.
the diamond that you give her, so
Oh,
she
the
knows it's real,
certificate?
right?
Oh, see, you want that.
No, you know-
Gemological Society of America.
Oh,
yeah.
you want that piece of paper? Or why don't you just take it to Seth and have Mr. Gold say, well, this ain't real. This ain't real. He told me it was real. No, so, I mean, is there pieces of paper that women collect? I mean,
Well, I'll tell you what my mom and I collect. We collect manuals from like appliances in our kitchen. I'm not kidding.
she is a car girl.
She just doesn't know it yet.
You collect appliance manuals. I got some of those. Do you want mine?
No.
For my
I
Frigidaire
only have the ones
toaster?
for the ones that I've got.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. Do you ever send in the registration paper that your blender is registered with
No.
Hamilton Beach?
No.
No, okay, good.
No.
Well, this is really one of those things, Chris, and I guess some of it isn't really for restoration purposes. I know people that have purchased brochures from their era to see the correct colors. Problem
Right.
with that, folks, is these brochures, some of them look 50, 52, they could be so old the colors may have been faded,
Right.
kind of like
But
your favorite sweater.
Also, if you're going to a car show and you want to have the advertisements, you know, all the background sort of thing to bring the right aura to the vehicle as you're showing it, so people can see what it was like back then when this car was new. That's pretty cool.
I think
And it's really big now in England with like the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Oh my God, this has exploded over there to the point where people are putting up backgrounds behind their cars, and it's got all the advertisements. It's got I've got all the correct documentation.
Yeah.
I've got the handbooks, everything. It's
So
amazing.
I think you can understand, folks, if you had you bought a car used, how are you going to find a 53 Chrysler brochure or the owner's manual? Can you believe it? Somebody saved it all these years. This guy, PJ, collected them, bought them, and brings them to shows like the Autorama, so you, with that rare collectible, can go back in history and find it. I think it's cool. Now, it probably isn't as cool as Lauren and her mom's hobby of saving the brochures from appliances.
From my like refrigerator.
That is, Lauren is off the hook.
Oven.
Yeah, but it does kind of show you collectability of things. I think, Chris, that deserves a special place in Cars and Context history.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, what are the other kinds of things? So you said owner's manual. With this stuff, the prices range all over the map.
They can be. It depends on how rare they are, how hard they are to find. I mean, a lot of this stuff you can also find on eBay if you want. But when you can buy from somebody like PJ here in one spot, and the problem is you just start going, oh, look, I've got this. Oh, I can, and you're off to the races, and next thing you know, you can't retire.
You spent your children's inheritance.
Exactly.
Nice going.
I don't have a gambling problem. I have a brochure problem. So.
Well, this is just an idea of the kinds of fun stuff. We could get lost looking at all these wonderful brochures. So if you have a brand new car and you're thinking of tossing that owner's manual, save it. Leave it downstairs in your kid's basement. And then when they're 40 or 50 years old, they'll sell it to PJ's grandchildren, and it'll continue on. Just part of that great Detroit heritage that we like to celebrate on Cars and Context. Well, kids, believe it or not, we're out of time.
Are we?
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, before we go, we gotta.
Yeah, well, make sure
Oh.
Lauren's hair is
Take care a
fixed,
little
right?
bit. That's
You
right.
look great, Lauren.
And-
Thank
and
you.
you're
for,
a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much.
You're perfect.
Thank you.
I am.
Thank you.
No, I hope you enjoyed that show. I hope Lauren now has a good idea to what you can get somebody that has that man cave. And I know that you guys know, because you're members of the show, knowledge is power. And so until next time, I'm your host, John Clore. Thanks for watching.